This is my audience for my speech. I chose this topic. It is how the heart works. I chose it because 5 years ago, I played baseball in college at Austin Peay. But 5 years ago, they found at a physical that I had a heart murmur, and they went in, did a bunch of tests, and so every 6 months to a year, I have to go back and get further test runs because they found that I have a bicuspid valve in my heart. In one of these pictures, they're in the aorta valves. They're supposed to be tricuspid, which they should have 3 leaflets that open up and the blood pumps through, and mine only has a slit. So, I mean, there's no real problems that we have. They said at some point in my life I'll have to get it taken care of and replaced, but as of right now I can still play and it shouldn't bother me any for a while. But a few fun facts about the heart is that it is important to take care of your heart because right now, as reported by the American Heart Association, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. They're finding more and more now that the majority of people are having heart disease due to eating wrong, not exercising. There's a majority of things that lead to that. Every 34 seconds, a person in the United States dies from heart disease. With a statistic like this, you can understand why it's important to take care of your heart and to eat right and exercise. And I'm going to talk about structure, function, and flow of blood throughout the heart, so you can all take care of your most vital organ and hopefully not become a part of this statistic. And I'm going to start off. The heart is placed into just a few different things. There's layers, chambers, valves, veins, and arteries. First I'm going to talk about the right and left atrium, which is this would be the left atrium, this is the right atrium. It's the top 2 portions of the heart. And then you have the right and left ventricles, which are the bottom 2. This would be the left ventricle and the right ventricle. Pressure is greatest in the left ventricle. That's where the blood comes into the heart, right here. Well, I'll just go through the flow of blood through the heart for a second. Blood comes in, goes through the heart, and when it comes out here and here, the aorta, it goes to the lungs. And then when it comes back in from the lungs down here, it goes in, and then that's where it'll leave out. Like I said, the valves are supposed to be tricuspid between the right atrium and right ventricle. The pulmonary valve is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. There's the mitral, which is down here. This is the valve where the blood's coming back in from the lungs. It's between the left atrium and the left ventricle. The aortic valve is between the left ventricle and the aorta, and that's the main portion right here where the blood is leaving the heart, going throughout the body. Veins. There is superior and inferior vena cava. These bring oxygen-poor blood from the upper and lower halves of the body back to the heart. Then there is pulmonary veins, which bring oxygenated rich blood back from the lungs back to the heart. This would be in these portions right here, coming back into the heart from the lungs. And then we go to arteries. We have the pulmonary artery, which which it pumps oxygen, poor blood to the lungs to receive oxygen, which that would be coming right out through here, through these parts. And there's the aorta. It's the main artery in the entire body, and that pumps oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. That's where the blood would come out right here to go back. And my valve that is bicuspid is my aortic valve, which it would be right here. Now that I've given you a little overview of the structure, it'll be easy to understand how the muscular pump supports the flow of blood to the body. Now keep in mind, the process is consistent. It never stops. It never hesitates. That's when you get heart murmurs and stuff like that. The atria contract at the same time allowing blood to flow into the chambers. Ventricles contract at the same time, expelling blood out of the heart. The contractions are known as the systole beat and the diastole beat. The systole is when the ventricles contract, and then the diastole is when the atria contracts, and the diastole is the second beat. When you're listening to it, it's bum bum. The diastole would be the second one. The average heart beats 72 times a minute, and that is about 2.5 billion times by the time you're 70 years old. Next, I will go to the flow of blood. I kind of covered it earlier. I'll just explain a little more. Oxygen poor blood is what blood that's already gone throughout the body. It's already left the atria or the aorta, gone throughout the body, oxygenated the rest of your body, and now it's coming back. It goes in through the right atrium, through the superior and inferior vena cava. It then travels through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, where it is then pumped by this chamber through the pulmonary valve to the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery then carries the blood to the lungs, where it exchanges carbon dioxide for oxygen, and then it's what's called oxygen-rich blood is brought back to the heart into the left atrium by the pulmonary veins. Then blood goes through the mitral valve, which is down at the bottom, to the left ventricle. Then blood is now ready to be pumped to the rest of the body through the aortic valve, into the aorta, and then to the rest of the body. In conclusion, there's kind of a fun little fact. If you hold up your fist, your heart is about the size of your fist. A female's heart is about 9 ounces, and a male's heart is 10.5 ounces. Although it seems small to the rest of your body, as a little muscle, it pumps about 5 liters of blood through your system every minute. One other thing that we found out with my story is that my heart is pumping around 11 liters of blood every minute. Now that you can see how the heart is structured and see how it works, I hope you can now also understand why we take such good care of our heart. Without this muscle, none of our other organs would receive the oxygen they need to survive. That's it. I'll get that. And here is the audience again.